Taiwan, the greatest country / region / province of China. It depends on who you ask. What makes Taiwan so different from China? Here are 5 more ways. Welcome to China Uncensored, I'm Chris Chappell. There are 2 governments claiming to be the legitimate government of China. In one corner, representing mainland China, you have the Red Terror, the People's Republic of China. And in the other corner, representing the island of Taiwan, putting the rock in ROC, the Republic of China. This match has been going on for 69 years. And in that time, a lot of changes have happened. Taiwan and China are very different places, even though they share a lot of history and culture. And since so many of you liked my first episode about 5 differences between Taiwan and China, I thought I'd do another one with 5 more differences. So, here is China versus Taiwan. Top 5 differences, round 2. Number 5, toilet paper. You'd think this wouldn't be a difference, but it is. In many public toilets in China, you won't find toilet paper. That's because there's a huge problem of people stealing it. So if you're ever traveling to China, you might want to bring your own. But there's an upside to living in a surveillance state. In a few public restrooms, they've recently come up with a perfect solution to both providing toilet paper and combating would-be thieves. Dispensers with facial recognition. The way it works is the machine scans your face and then distributes a small amount of toilet paper. And it won't give you any more unless you wait a certain amount of time. The downside is if you're a criminal or a dissident, you have one more type of surveillance to worry about. Also, no one gets enough toilet paper. In Taiwan, on the other hand, there's toilet paper. Yeah, just like it's a normal country. I'm sorry it's not more interesting than that. Number 4, different visas. If you want to visit most places in mainland China, you need to visit your local PRC embassy or consulate and apply for a travel visa. And just to get a normal 30 or 60-day travel visa, you have to submit a lot of information, like your current employment, which hotels you're going to stay at, your criminal record, and whether you visited certain Muslim countries. But even if you get that travel visa, you still won't be able to just go anywhere in China. For example, Tibet. These days, Tibet is harder to get into than North Korea. I wonder if there's something there the Chinese Communist Party doesn't want foreigners to see. Or maybe they just don't want foreigners to get sick. From the altitude, I mean. And even if you get into China, there's always a risk that you just might never want to leave. China has recently created a simplified visa program where visitors from certain countries can visit a handful of major cities, but it's only good for 3 days and you can't travel outside those places. Now, to visit Taiwan, people from a lot of countries, including the US, can just show up at the airport and get a visa waiver to stay 90 days. And don't worry, you can visit pretty much anywhere in Taiwan. Maybe they don't have so many things to cover up. Number 3, happy ethnic minorities. The Chinese Communist Party has a long history of treating the 56 ethnic minorities of China right. That's why the party calls them the Happy 56 Ethnic Minorities. Just look at the Tibetans. State-run media wants you to know they're just so happy. So happy, in fact, you probably don't want to disturb them, say, by visiting Tibet. Of course, for now, if you get your visa, you can still visit the happy Uyghur ethnic people over in Xinjiang. Just keep in mind the state will be keeping tabs on you. I'm sure it's just to make sure you're having a good time. After all, the Uyghur Muslims there are the happiest in the world. And the Chinese authorities know this because they're monitoring them 24/7. Over in Taiwan, they also have ethnic minorities. But their government has been very open and honest about the fact that indigenous people have not always been treated well. The president of Taiwan even apologized in 2016. I guess they could really learn a thing or two from communist China about how to treat minorities, because that government has never felt the need to apologize. Number 2, constitutional freedoms. Now, at first I thought this would be something China and Taiwan have in common. I mean, after all, the Chinese Constitution guarantees freedom of speech, the press, assembly, association, etc., etc. And Taiwan's Constitution guarantees pretty much the same things. Except there's a reason why protests in Taiwan look like this, and protests in China looked like this. It's almost like having a constitution doesn't actually guarantee rule of law. Number 1. International relations. So by now you might have the impression that Taiwan is essentially a modern democracy and China is a modern nightmare version of George Orwell's 1984, but with really impressive skyscrapers and high-speed trains. But which one is the real China? Get this. More than 170 countries have chosen to recognize the People's Republic of China as the true China and cut off official diplomatic ties with Taiwan's Republic of China. And I totally understand. The People's Republic of China has way more people, which means you can make a lot more money there. After the Chinese Communist Party took over mainland China in 1949, most countries kept their diplomatic ties with the Republic of China, which had fled to the island of Taiwan. But starting in the 1970s, more and more countries shifted their allegiance over to the Big China. Sure, it's authoritarian, and it kills minorities, and its restrooms don't even have toilet paper, but did I mention how much money you can make there? Today, there are only 17 countries that still have diplomatic relations with the Republic of China. They're mostly smaller countries, one of which is the Vatican. And let's just say, even that might not last. The Chinese Communist Party has been using money to isolate Taiwan internationally. For example, in 2017, they got Panama to switch allegiances in exchange for the promise of millions of dollars of Chinese investment. And they did the same in 2018 with El Salvador, the Dominican Republic, and Burkina Faso. Maybe the Communist Party hopes that if Taiwan has no more allies, they can just take it over. But there are countries like the US that officially recognize the People's Republic of China, but also work closely with Taiwan. In the US's case, that includes the promise to defend Taiwan from any threat of mainland invasion, including by selling Taiwan weapons. So those are 5 more ways Taiwan and China are not the same. What do you think? And if you've been to both Taiwan and China, let me know in the comment section below what differences you've seen. And before you go, remember, China Uncensored continues to run because of the support from my 50-cent army. Viewers like you who support China Uncensored through Patreon. If you'd like to join, sign up at patreon.com/China Uncensored. Thanks for watching this episode of China Uncensored. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. See you next time.